What's up, everyone? Tag a friend and let them know we're about to get into it.
Welcome to the Speak Her Podcast with your host, Camille Essick, the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Let's get started.
Help keep the Speaker Podcast ad-free. Hit the link below and buy me a coffee. Your support keeps the podcast free of interruptions while bringing you more impactful conversations. Hey everybody, it's Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com or follow me across all social media platforms and Facebook at Camille.Essick and the Speaker Podcast. With that being said, y'all, we're in for a treat tonight. We're going to have a really good conversation about love, marriage, relationships, and more. If you tune in to Heart and Soul Part 1 or Part 2, then these spaces are not new to you. So we have ministers Pam and Byron Dixon. They're back, and we want to welcome them back to the show. So, hey, everybody, welcome back. Thank you, Dixon family.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to be back.
Yes. So how are you all doing?
We're doing good.
I'm
Good.
doing well. I'm doing well. We're appreciative for just having this opportunity to come be back on with you, Camille. Great space, great opportunity. Everything about it is great.
Awesome. So since we last had you all here, we always talk offline, and I thought, man, I really want to have another conversation regarding love, marriage, and relationships. And you two came to mind, and so I had to bring you back. So those that missed you the last time, each of you take your turn. Just let the listeners, viewers know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Ladies first.
Alrighty. So I am Pam Dixon. I am a minister of the gospel. Also own and the founder of Strategic Risk Management Solutions. So that's my company. It's an insurance agency. So I am both and. I am ministry and marketplace. So, and I thank God I'm grateful for my husband who allows me to do and express myself in so many different aspects. And I don't feel stifled by that. He's not intimidated. He says, hey, girl, go do what you got to do. But just like I'm a both and, he's a both and as well.
And I am Byron Dixon. I am a minister also. Also, my profession, I am a IT professional. Also, I am a audio and visual professional. Also, this is what I do here at Fernbank Science Center. We're in their studio right now. Shout out to Fernbank Science Center. So I do IT, I do audio visual there. And I also give back to my community as a lay coach for Stevenson High School football. I've coached football and baseball, so that's my way of giving back to young men. I believe that's very important for men to pour into other men. I think one of the greatest things I've heard came from actually Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey says it takes a man to raise a man. And so I feel like that's part of my job to do, is to give back to younger men, to show by example and to show just by being a mentor, of showing these young men what it takes and what it is to eventually be into a great space like I am now, to be a great husband.
I love it. Something that you touched on, Minister Pam, you were like, you said he lets me be both and that just really opens the door to a question I want to ask you both. So in this space, as a single person, we're hearing a lot of conversation through social media and podcasts as far as men, not all men, but some men expressing how they feel about the woman, if she's the boss or making more money, or we hear about what they call 50-50 men, where it's like you have to split the bill down the middle and everything every time. But I don't hear a lot of conversation, not all the time, in that space when it comes to unity. So can you kind of, both of you, unpack the importance of balancing ministry, marketplace, and marriage, as far as maintaining love and ministry, but still pursuing your purpose as individuals and together?
Do you mind if I start first?
Sure.
So for me, so this year, me and my husband, as a matter of fact, our anniversary is on the 20th, a couple days from now.
Oh.
And we've been at that time, I think 18 years married. And my husband, when we got together, I was a single parent at that time. I had been a single parent for a very long time. And one of the things that happened for me at that time, I've always been in church. Church was our thing. He was in church. That was our thing. But our what we did do is we had our own space at that time before we even got together. He was a minister, I was a minister, but we had our own space. We did our own things. We both had children. We had just a lot of things going on in our lives. So when we came together, I couldn't stop him from being who he was, and he didn't stop me from being who I was.
Mhm.
So he allowed, and when I say allow, I know that sounds like a bad word to a lot of people, but it's not. What it was is I'm a very strong woman. I'm a bad girl. I will say that. And but what he did was he let me still be who I was. Even I was very high intense. I'm not high maintenance, but I'm very intense. I'm very much about I got to get stuff done, and he never stopped me from doing that. But what he used to do, I don't know. I'm just gonna a real funny story. When our very first date, what he used to do, because I was a single parent for a long time, he would say stuff like, "Girl, just be still. Stop. I'm trying to make all the decisions. I'm trying to do everything because I had to pay bills all by myself. I had to do things by myself. I had to raise kids by myself for a period of time." And so what he did was he was like, "Hey, sit over there, be quiet, and put on some lip gloss." Now, I know it sounds condescending,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that. What he was doing was teaching me that I didn't always have to make all the decisions, that I was safe. Actually, he was giving me a safe space to not have to make the decisions all the time.
Mhm.
And so, but he had to teach me that and allow me to get comfortable in that safe space because I did not have that. So for him, it allowed, and I'm going to say this: my husband was anointed to be a step parent. I listen, my kids, they love me, but they love him. So he was anointed to be a step parent, but he also was anointed to be able to allow me to slide into a space that I had never been in because I didn't necessarily have I did not have a lot of men in my life that showed me what a woman was supposed to be. And he allowed me to grow into that space. So when you say that there's all these different conversations about being I've always made good money. He's always made good money. Our money has never been our problem. There was a time when I was unemployed. Now, I will say that was tough for me because I had never not had money. So having to come to my husband and say, "Well, can I buy some pantyhose?" Baby, that was rough. But he also allowed me to grow in that area of being able to submit, but also not dominate, because those are two different things. There's people who feel like, well, you're the wife and you gotta submit to me, and they don't understand that submission doesn't mean. I heard my pastor say this: submission doesn't mean that I stop being who I am. Submission means I get up under your plan and walk it out.
But you got to have a plan.
But you got to have a plan. Amen, man of God.
Amen.
So what would you say with regards to that?
My concept on the balance, especially when it comes to submission, I think what most men don't realize, both parties have to submit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the scripture says.
Yeah,
right?
both parties have, because here's this scripture here, and not making it so spiritual, but this scripture here really tells you how to submit. It says, "Husband, loves your wife as Christ loved the church." Do we submit to Christ 24/7? But he still loves us. He still cares for us. He still forgives us, no matter how we treat him.
Wow.
So you have to have a level of submission as a man, to be able to walk in the calling of what marriage is supposed to be about. Marriage is supposed to be, I have to love my woman through her losing her job, for her not feeling her best, for her not feeling like her self-esteem is to a certain place. I heard a pastor say this long time ago. When a couple learns how to wash each other in love with your words, that's when you become that oneness of a couple. So in other words, I should be able to feel when she's weak, my words should be able to wash her to the point of that she says, hey, I got somebody in my corner that's covering me no matter what I'm going to do. That was my wife's biggest deal when we first got together, was covering. Because most women, they want to be covered. They want to be in a relationship. They want to have a man that's covering them. And society, social media, man, they have really made a stigma of this 50-50 thing, this submission, this, what do you bring to the table or whatever. I've heard in this counseling session, we've heard this sometime before, is that it's not 50-50. It's 100-100. Yeah. If we're both giving 100% to please the other one, someone never goes lacking. Yeah. If I'm only giving 50, then where's the other 50 coming from?
So if I go to Macy's and they give me a jacket and it says it's $100, I only give them 50. What am I getting? Nothing. They're gonna say you stealing.
So you have to get into a place where your mindset is the mindset of individuals who feel like they want to be in a relationship. Your mindset has to start off from the jump. I'm 100% into this, 100-100. I want to meet 100% of all her needs. Can I do it? I might not have the capabilities to do it, but I'm going to try to give 100% in everything I do. I'm not good with a comb and not good in doing some hair. So, but I want my wife's hair done. So I'm going to 100%. I told her from day one, your hair getting done is a bill. I said, so that's not non-negotiable, because I can't do it, but I can supply the need to be able to make sure it gets done. Because no matter what, she's representing me. That's 100. That's 100%. I'm representing.
Okay, you just dropped a bar. We can't just slide past that. You said because she's representing me. Mm-hmm. We need to unpack that.
Yeah. Because at any moment in time, because I'm the head of the house, when she steps out that door, she's Mrs. Dixon. So there should never be a room for anybody else to feel like Mrs. Dixon ain't kept. That's one thing she told me, is she look at her people, she was like, excuse me, I don't look kept.
I don't look kept.
And I said, do I not look like a kept woman?
So in other words, it should be intimidating to another man to be like, man, I can't even step there because she's looking like she's already taken care of. That's part of that game. That's part of that relationship game that you see on social media. That's why everybody's so thirsty, is because you can tell who's not kept. Wow. And you can tell who's not taken care of. You can look and tell, hey, I got some friends of mine, some male friends, be like, hey, bro, you got your woman kind of looking like kind of scarce out here. What you been? Man, I just been so busy. I've been so this and this. No, you ain't. It ain't showing. So you have to be able to be in a place where you are showing your woman and doing everything in your power to make sure that she is seen, to make sure she is heard, to make sure that she is the woman that she is supposed to be. When she's lacking, you're lacking.
Wow. So you're pretty much preventing an open door for somebody else to slip in to say, well, your man isn't, but I can do whatever. And you're making sure the door is sealed and there's no cracks.
There's no crack. It should never, and that works both ways. Yeah, there should never be a crack in a relationship. Yeah.
She's not cooking.
Yes.
Enter work wife, stage left, bringing pies and stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say with that too, a great example about that is with Adam and Eve. A lot of people don't pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve was there at the garden together. And the Bible says she turned and gave her husband the fruit. The issue was Adam didn't stop the enemy from talking to his wife. He could have shut it down by saying, hey, shut up. That's my woman. Don't talk to her. So, and that tells you that there was some cracks in their relationship. I'm not, of course, he was the first man. Of course, he may not have had a great conversation. He might have been a great conversationalist, but he did not cover her when the enemy came for her.
And it was no balance because Adam did not have. You got to think what was Adam doing before God told him it's not good for man to be alone. Adam was naming all the animals. He was working. Adam got so caught up in his work.
Oh wow!
He got so caught up in what his call was, till God had to show him, "I'm finna teach you balance. So it's not good for man to be alone. So I'm gonna teach you balance because I'm gonna give you a help me." And when it came to the point, Adam was like, "Oh, thank you. I got somebody. Let me go back to work." And when he went back to work, standing there working, probably sitting there, oh, that looked like a little lizard over there. I'm gonna call him Lizard. And the devil just came in out of the back door because there was a crack, because he was not paying attention to what her needs were and not realizing that she might have been in a vulnerable state for the enemy to even be in play. You can really tell if you really go out to these malls or go to the grocery store, anywhere you go, and y'all know you recognize game when you see game. And you go and you see this dude walk up, "Hey, mama, how you doing?" or whatever. And she look at him and go, "Boy, stop. I got a whole husband at home." And her whole demeanor changes no, that's somebody who represents her husband and she's kept. Now you saying you seen the opposite too, of where they sitting up there, "Hey, sugar, how you doing?" Yay. There's some cracks there. There's something that's going on. So you have to go back to that 100, that you are giving so much of 100% that you're not leaving room for the enemy to come in or anybody else to be used by the enemy to come in. Because not everybody has bad intentions. Some things are just, hey, I just noticed you come to work every day and you don't never have nothing for lunch. I just want to fix you some lunch.
That's so good. Even as a single person, I seal crack. I keep my crack sealed, meaning
Yeah.
I like to look nice,
Yeah.
but I don't look like some homely single woman just waiting for somebody to come along and build this bay. And it's
Right.
like, no, when I step out, I make sure my hair is done, my makeup is decent.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it has to be photo shoot ready, but I don't look like an extra from The Walking Dead. I'm not out here in yoga pants and sliding
And
around.
pajamas and a bonnet.
Oh,
No, I keep my nails done. I keep my toes together. Just the basics, right? Even if it's a simple brow, simple lash, new gloss, something, and a simple concealer, just something where I look present, But I was just always raised to make sure you look presentable. And because I've had some guys before, they look at me, they'll gauge and see, well, does she need anything? They're looking at hair, nails, and my amenities are taken care of.
Right.
So, and if that's all you're offering,
Yeah.
we don't have anything to discuss,
Yeah.
So I think it's just, yes, The Walking Dead, Angela. Yes, but I just,
most businessmen,
Yeah.
for the simple fact, they like that because at least I ain't got to build her up in that area.
Yeah.
You already got that taken care of. I just might need your business mind. I just might need you to help me with some business sense that, hey, you got that part taken care of. So yeah, what you bringing to the table is you're bringing a brain, you bringing some insight, You're bringing some discernment. You're bringing all of these other things that sometimes men, we do not see.
Yeah.
We do not understand. So those things, yeah, I need to bring, and it makes a real man step up.
Yeah,
because if all I got to do is get your nails done and get your hair done and all that, I mean, that's basic stuff. When we hit the real stuff and the real stuff hit me, we stuck.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at your ability to maintain and hold a conversation.
Mhm.
That because I'm very intellectual, and Minister Pam, we've talked offline. I think I'm a thinker, and I read books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a very active library card, and so you can be fine to have the suit, but can you maintain my attention span with a conversation? And I was talking with one of my homegirls before, and she was like, going out to dinner. And I was like, no, I usually don't do dinner up front. And she said, why? I said, we can do coffee, go grab ice cream. And she was like, why is that? I said, because I need to know, can you at least even hold a conversation for
Before I
me to want to sit with you for 2 hours at dinner, and why waste all that when you can't survive coffee?
That's good.
That's
That's a
good.
great test. That's a great test. I want to say this too when Minister Byron was saying about the 100. So again, he mentioned on the men's side stepping up for the women. But for me, like again, both of us work in ministry and we're heavy ministry. So as far as active, we're constantly on the run. But like there's times like I'm gonna use our church in particular. I go to a church where there's multiple services. One thing for me, I may have to take a day off and I'm gonna clean up my house.
Mm.
I'm not gonna let my husband come home all, and see. I've served at a church for 4 services, but then he come home and his house filthy. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna come home and he not eat, so have something to eat. Now listen, now we're in our older state of our lives, so we don't cook as much as we used to. Now I can cook very well. I just don't cook as much. So what we do is we may go out to dinner. Now, and my husband cooks better than I do. So but I don't, it's not my thing to be like, baby, you ain't cooking tonight. I'm not going to starve to death if we go out. So that's that other 100 from on the women's side. There may be adjustments as we go through life. And now for us, we're going through a period where we are having older parents. So we're stepping up to take care of parents. So I have to be cognizant and compliant and understanding that his parents, he may have to go do something for his parents and he has to do the same for me. So that's where we get the 100. Now we have adult children. So he had a set of children before we got together. I had a set of children before we got together. We are 100 in all for all the kids. So we do, and that's what 100 stands for. It doesn't mean, oh, you know what? And at one point, he was very heavy on my side because, as a woman, we go and do Christmas with my mama. We're going to do Christmas with my kids. We're going to do, the kids are in college. We got to go take care of them. But I also had to understand we got to be 100 with his kids or which are my kids. So we have to do 100. So Father's Day, hey, we got to plan something. So everybody got to show up, so what 100 means sometimes you got to extend yourself beyond your space and go into their space.
That's good. One of the things before we turn the corner on this, since we're kind of in this lane, provision. I had a guy I've known for a long time, and nothing like that. We were just having a conversation, and he asked me, he's like, I hear so many women talk about wanting to feel provided for and feeling safe. And he was just equating it to, well, I have concealed carry and I have money. And so I had to explain to him, for women, provision and safety goes beyond your bank account and you having a couple clips in your trunk. And I explained to him, safety for women and provision equates to being covered. Safety meaning, do I feel emotionally safe with you? And your integrity meaning, if I'm not present, I know your character, you're going to maintain your character and integrity towards me, even if I'm not there. And they're going to protect us as far as who we are together and what we do and how you walk and show up every day, and you're not out here flirting or flirting to get deals closed, done, anything unscrupulous or unethical emotionally within the relationship to where I feel safe and there's not a chicken. If you have to go out of town, I'm not telling you FaceTime me and turn the phone around and and look under the bed and open the bathroom door and open the closet, like, who's on the balcony,
Right,
and doing
right.
all this foolishness.
Right. I gotta scan your phone and find out.
Right, and let me check your GPS in your car. Where have you been?
Right.
And safety and provision
Yeah.
is deeper than that. So for both of you, can you kind of expound on that so people can really understand beyond just what I call the taskers of finance and having a couple Glock? Like, what is the real definition for safety and provision and covering?
Do you mind if I go first? Because
Mhm.
as a woman, I want to agree with what you just said, Camille. Safety goes beyond money. I make good money. Safety goes beyond a gun. Beyond bullets. I got bullets. That's not, and don't get me wrong. Again, I told you I was a bad girl. So I was a fighter growing up. And I pray my pastor doesn't hear. I was good
Because
with
you're
it.
from Decatur where it's great.
Listen, I'm from Decatur where it's great.
Yeah.
Listen. So I was a bad girl. And I never, I'm almost like Jesus. I never lost a battle. And I was in some of them. So
Be a lawyer in the courtroom.
listen, baby, I had to go to the court sometime because I was never lost a battle. So, but I said all that to say not to be to talk about my foolish self, but I said all that to say that when my husband came along, he had to settle that in me because I was ready to fight. I was ready to go to war. I was ready to go to battle. I've never that ain't been my issue. But what he taught me was I had safety in my conversation, safety in that he was going to cover me. I didn't have to worry about women. I didn't have to worry about, like, I had a woman tell me one time, if I'd have known you was such a good girl, such a nice lady, I would have never slept with your boyfriend. Foolishness. That's what I'm saying. So that wasn't a safe space for me. So I had a safe space. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we were perfect, but we were safe. And he knew I was safe, and I knew he was safe. Not to say that women weren't trying to talk to him, because, honey, he was a catch. He was a catch. So, but what he did for me, my husband, I tell people this, I love to tell this story. My husband, again, I didn't have a great history with men, but I never not had a man. So, but he came along and said, hey, settle yourself, get you're okay. And then what he did was, my husband took on my bills before we got married. He started paying my cell phone bill. He's like, "Hey, I'm a grown man." So but I will say he had a father in his life that taught him that when you find that that's the woman, and I feel bad. Don't get me wrong, because I'm praying for the women of God that are here, that are in our space, and especially women at our church, because what happens is we're in such a season that it's almost a hidden treasure to find somebody like that. But I will say he took on bills. He took on my kids. He took on my kids moved into his house before I moved into his house, before we got married. I was married before I actually lived with him. But my kids moved in with him because we knew we were getting married. So I would be like, oh, okay. And he took ownership of who I was. So that's where safety came into play. And he started to prove himself before we were married. So by the time we were married, it was easier for me to slide into that space. But for him, how I became safe space for him, I'm going to let him say.
So, and before he does, so you're saying women should be looking for the evidence of safety and provision.
Look for it. Put them to the test. I heard one of my deacons at my church say this, and I tell my girls this: get a flat tire, call him, see what he do. Now he can't change a tire because that's not the culture of today's men. But he, like my husband said, he ought to be able to call AAA and say, "Hey, my woman on the side of the road, go get her, and I'll meet you over there." Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think when we think about safety and protection, a lot of times we put that on the woman. But let me just say this, especially to all the single women out there. Men need to be in a safe and protective space also.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're dying faster.
Yeah.
We're dying quicker.
Yeah.
Because we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. Yeah. Because we're first taught to be a provider.
Yeah.
And if I don't have a safe place to know I'm not going to leave you tomorrow because you can't go buy me that Gucci purse that I want.
Yeah.
You can't go get this because all the other ladies got all this high end stuff and you can't provide that for me. He has to be in a place of protection and safe place of a woman telling him, babe, hey, I'm here with you. We say it in the vows for richer or for poor.
Yeah.
But where's my safety and my protection to know that my woman ain't looking at that rich dude and not giving me the safe and protection like, dude, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. And matter of fact, I'm noticing you got extra skills that you're not pushing up on. So I'm going to help you with those. I'm going to get you to a place where you can, not because I want you to buy me purses, but because I want you to feel that you're safe and protected and that you can live out your dreams and live out what you need and what you want out of life also. So most people don't think men need to feel safe.
Yeah.
Men need to feel safe and protected too.
Yeah.
I need my heart protected.
Yeah.
Because if I tell you something in a vulnerable state, is that going to be the lead of an argument? Are you going to bring that back up if we get into a moment of tense fellowship?
Like weaponizing the secrets.
Yeah. Or we get into something later on and you bringing up my vulnerable moment.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to get some things off my chest.
Out here in these streets. Don't tell all your man stuff out here in these streets. These people don't need to hear.
Can you unpack more? Because I've seen a lot of women do it. I'm single. I've never been married, but I observe a lot of things, and I know women that tell a lot about their husband, or how can I word this properly? You're supposed to be a vault, right?
Right.
That safe space. And sometimes I see the door. It's like when you go to the bank and you see them counting the money, but you shouldn't see that.
Right.
And it's like I see.
I see
your stacks. I see your stacks, and I'm like, I don't think I should be seeing that. But they put it out there and put it on social media, or they're just talking and telling things. And I'm, as a single woman, I'm thinking to myself, I know more than I probably should know about you two in some areas.
And that comes down to emotional imbalance. Because a lot of times, and this is not to throw off on women at all. It's just not. You guys are way more emotional than most men. You're the emotional side, and a lot of times for women, I use this example a lot when we've done counseling and we've done for other couples. Use this example of, how was your day? A man gonna probably say, it was all right. Went to work, had lunch, came home. Woman's gonna say, child, so-and-so wig was twisted a little bit when she got here to work. Then boss came around here, girl, she had to have the nerve to have on some black stockings with some white shoes. And then she messed around there. We went to lunch and she didn't even have enough money to cover her meal. And this, she done gave you a whole line of what it was she was trying to do. It's an emotional release sometimes when you release your conversation. And a lot of times when women are hurt emotionally, a lot of times what they do is they speak on it.
Spill it out.
And they spill it out. It's their way of, it's therapy. It's their way.
Like detoxing.
It's like detoxing. It's like, I got to get it out. I got to tell. That's why it's gossip, because I got to tell somebody. I got to get this. But that goes back to what your question was about safety and protection. That's part of that. Can I keep some stuff safe in the sacred of our marriage? Whether it's good or bad, can I keep that safe? That tells me if you're that kind of woman, or let me not dispel that. There are some men that do a whole lot of talking too. If your loose lips can't be controlled to your only detox mechanism is spilling it out, then that's sort of a toxic relationship because you don't trust each other enough to hold some stuff. There's some stuff I know about my wife, and there's some stuff my wife know about me that it ain't left the confines of our bedroom. It ain't left the confines of our house because we protect and we cover each other in every aspect of our relationship. And if it gets to a point where we need to detox, who do we detox? We detox with each other because I should feel safe with her. She should feel safe with me. And then we come together and we pray about it. That's what joining together becoming one, because at the end of the day, we are two different personalities. That's what I want a lot of single people to understand. You don't lose who you are. You don't lose your personality. You don't lose your gift. You don't lose everything about you when you come together. They enhance each other. They pick each other up. That's the 100 is if I'm giving 100% of what I'm good at and I'm giving 100% of what I'm good at, we bring it together. We got a 200% of something great.
And we call ourselves Dixon Enterprise.
I like that.
We got together. He had what he had. I had what I had. And we both, listen, I tell people all this all the time. Count up the cost. Look at, I know, because I hate that gold digging, when he was talking about being safe. There is a gold digging mentality or gold digging opportunistic nature in society right now.
It's transactional.
Yeah, it's all about me. Is what can I get from you? Whatever. It's not a give and take. It's more of a take. So, but when he was talking about safety, the thing about safety is you look at what I have, I look at what he has, and then we look at how we can bring it together. We don't look at how I can take, he's got a 401k and I can get that 401k and I can get me a new car and I can do this and I can do that. But if we look at, he's got a 401k and I got a 401k, look how much money we got together. We can buy a house. We can go into business. We can do some things together. And then when he was talking about the keeping our personalities, I'm not going to ever take away football from him. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm like, hey, football's a bit much. But he's not going to take away shopping from me. So, or not shopping, because I don't want to say that. Or like business stuff. I will say that. Because he knows I have a business mind. So I've had a boutique. I've done different things. And he has never said, hey, stop that. Because he know his woman came with a business mind. She's ready to figure out what we can do next.
Yeah, that's good. One of the things I want to ask you both as far as in the relationship and marriage in terms of coming together, being individuals, and supporting each other's dreams without competition. What does it look like for you when you're not maybe on the same page? And you brought something up as far as weaponizing the secret and being the vault. But when you're in a space where it's not so much eye to eye, but how do you navigate those spaces? Just because so many people in this time, first argument, divorce. Like, why does it always have to go there versus we're just not agreeing right now, or you know what? I love you, but right now you're getting on my nerves. And navigating that without throwing away the marriage.
You want to go first? Or want me to go first?
Sure. I think a lot of that has to do with where we are in society now. We're in a microwave, quick fix, air fry. Because let me tell you, to fry some chicken the real way with some grease,
take a little time.
That takes a little time. That takes a
not
little
air,
time.
Grease.
Yeah, not air, grease. That takes a little time. So we're in the microwave air fryer generation of I want to fix it now. And if it's not perfect, I'm throwing it away in the trash.
Wow.
So people take that and put that into their relationships. Well, to be perfectly honest, a relationship is not something you're really supposed to throw away once you get to a married point. because you say it for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. Death.
My
Death do us part.
my God.
In other words, I should be, when you find your mate and God gives you your mate, it's someone that you can do life with until death shows up. Now, you have to be able to understand what doing life means. And what doing life means is sometimes you are not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you because of life, sometimes you might not be in the same chapter because you've gotten yourself out of whack, or I could be in a place because life happened. But the stuff we're going through now with our parents, with stuff that our parents are older now. So now we're in a place and in a space where we're seeing it's pulling some time away from even our own personal time, where we have to go take a look at those things and handle those things. When you're in a place where you don't put yourselves, where you can pick time to come back together, that's the most important part of the relationship. Yes, we might not be in the same chapter, but we never should not be in the same book.
That's good.
We should always be at least in the same book, even though we might not be in chapter, because life could have just hit me. I might, and because we respect each other, hey, I had to bring on an extra thing and take care of my parents. So I don't have that extra time anymore that we used to go on date nights, or we used to go on this right here. So yeah, you're moving on because your business is booming. This is going on in the marketplace for you. You're growing in your ministry. You're doing all this. And I'm feeling like I'm stagnated because something in life hit me that I had to take care of. It was nothing that I asked for. Those are our parents. So you're going to pick that, and that's what you're going to do. But this is the thing that you have to know how to do. You have to know how to woosah, to come back together, that you see it. It don't mean that the other person has to stop what they're doing, but they at least got to recognize it. That goes back to that safety and that protection. You got to at least know how to hey, babe, hold on. I know you're dealing with your parents, but I'm seeing you slip. And that's just not you. I know that's just not you. So, hey, what do we need? What do we need to do so we can come back together so I can get you back on your track? Well, hey, maybe I can show you how to get in this kind of business started where it makes money that you don't have to do the work to make the money. That way we can use that money to hire a nurse to help take care of your parents so you can get back on track. It's conflict resolution and being able to find a resolution. That's what a relationship is supposed to be. Two people with two different personalities, two different backgrounds, being able to come to a place where they can solve conflict resolution and to help each other get back on the right path of their dreams, their hopes, and what this marriage was built out from the beginning. Help me help each other.
So where's the line in that when you see someone, and like for you, like Mr. Pam, you had the business sense, and then he has his component come together, because as you mentioned before, people want people to come together now and have all the things. And where's the line between seeing, hey, I have this, you have that, versus you put on a construction hat and you trying to build a bait and bring this person along? Like, can you differentiate the difference between a build a bay versus coming together and joining forces like Wonder Twins?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say for anybody, and especially like I say in this day and time for single people, one thing I've heard, I also heard my pastor say this: steward your singleness and steward it well. But when you're coming together, you need to also, in a marriage and as you're a single person getting ready to go into a relationship, or when you're looking for a relationship, I think you have to be able to say, you can't build a person. Now, I can't say that you can't enhance a person, but you can't build a person. Mm-hmm. People's character is what their character is. Now, you can, like, let's say you go to school. You can go to school and make people, you can learn, you can expose them to things so they can learn more. You can go to events and help them to open their horizons, but you're never going to change their character. The only person that can change somebody's character is God. So when you're looking for people, you have to look at people's character. That's why you can't look at what people look like. What I look like today ain't nothing what I looked like 20 years ago. Nothing. So, or 10 years ago, or 5 years ago. So, same for my husband. My husband, his nickname was Babyface. He just started getting gray hair. People used to think I was older than him and would give me his dinner ticket. And I'm like, hello. But I said all that to say is that when you're coming together and you're, like you say, you can't put on a construction hat to rebuild somebody. You just start looking for character traits that fit what you need to live this life out. Like you said, to be a partnership. So unfortunately, what happens, and my husband says this all the time, we have had single mothers who have raised their sons to be their boyfriends or to be their companions. And so that has stifled some men's ability to step up and be a man. So like when my husband came into my life, I was a single parent. I had a son who, and then I had a grandson, I think when we early on in our marriage. And so, and I mean, this is kind of a lot of information, but I had taught my sons how to use the bathroom like girls use the bathroom. My husband came along and said, hey, that ain't how a man go to the bathroom. So, I mean, I know that's just real simple, but that's because I was a woman trying to teach a man how to be a woman, really. So we have to test our men. So like with my grandson handles the trash at our house now. We got to make them do stuff that men do. It ain't gonna hurt them. And if we teach them while they're young, so that when they get to a woman that they're in love with or a woman that they are interested in, they'll know how to do stuff like cover them. I don't need a man to fight for me, but I do need a man to be able to step up for me. So the thing happens with when you were talking about the build a bae thing, they don't need to build a bae by putting them on a woman with eyelashes. And we know how to do that. We girls, we know how to be a girl. I don't need a
When
man.
I say build a bae, it could be a man or a woman. It's like you're piecing them together to make them
emotionally, physically. For men, men are attracted to the physicality of people.
Okay.
Women are attracted to the emotional side of it. So what we do is, but we let men slip by giving them a way out emotionally by saying, well, you know what, he's got potential. And then we fill in the gaps for his potential. But it is against the will of God for us to always fill into that gap of we the catch. So we need to make them step up and be and cover us as the catch. For the man.
Camille, I'm gonna say this because something just hit me with this. I come from a family of construction.
Yeah.
So anytime you're building something, you have to build it from the ground up.
Foundation.
You have to start with the foundation and up. So that's a dangerous way of trying to start a relationship when you got to build. Relationships should be remodeling.
Say that again for the people in the back. I like that.
Yeah, you can't build a bae. You can't build what you want. You can remodel though.
Yeah.
Everybody has, I don't care what kind of house you get, everybody has the capabilities of remodeling. And remodeling can be an enhancement.
Yeah.
And remodeling can be just something so simple of just changing a paint color can change the room. Just being so simple of pulling that carpet up and just letting the hardwood floor come in there.
But the bones are already still there.
But the structure of what's there. So I think the problem is most people enter relationships and don't look at the structure and the foundation. Yeah, certain things should be strictly basic. They should know how to do the basic stuff. But what you should be looking for is, hey, I see the structure. I see the bones are good. Just might need a little remodeling. And a little remodeling don't take as much money. It doesn't take much effort. All it does is just take some coming together and some planning. And so I think a lot of times, especially to the single people, quit trying to come into a place where you think you got to build somebody up. Because if you got to build them up, you're doing too much work.
Yes, I like that. And also the opposite. You go in, it's a high-rise condo, but then you start inspecting
Right.
the pipes are bad, the wiring is shoddy,
Yeah.
you know,
And it costs you
and
more to remodel that if
yeah,
all that's happening.
and you pull that tile back there, maybe mold back there. So that's really good as well on both ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And just
really
something that you just mentioned too, when he's talking about the remodeling, what happens in a remodel is anytime you got to, I'm gonna use this example. I told my son, so I have me personally, we have 5 kids together, but me personally, I had a son and 2 daughters. Now, my daughters have always been able to come back home, but I used to tell my son, you got to take care of yourself and somebody. So if a man can't take care of himself, basic stuff, how he gonna take care of you? Now, I'm not saying he got to be a millionaire, but if he can't pay, if he don't know how to pay a phone bill, how he gonna help you? What is he gonna do for you? I'm not saying you not, because a lot of times, like when I lived at home with my mother, I didn't know any of the bills because my mother felt like bills was her responsibility. So I didn't learn that until I became an adult. But for a man, like, and my son didn't have to pay bills because that was my responsibility. But what I told him is, you got to learn those things because you got to take care of you. You got to always have a place to live. You got to be able, and I'm not saying he can't never come home, because he can, because they can always come home. But my son ain't never been back home, not never. Since he left, has he ever? Not ever. And that's because I taught him that. He was the one. I said, you got to do it. These girls, they need to do it, but they ain't got to do it. So, but I said all that to say, when it comes to, like you said, foundation, some things that we got to do on a foundational basis. There's a lot of single mothers out here with sons. There's a lot of single mothers out here with daughters. We got to teach foundational stuff. And foundation means digging down into the root of things. And of course, we all have had everybody's had a trauma. As far as I don't tell, nobody's skated by what life being, without being touched by some level of trauma. That's what I tell people. But I also say, and I do say this about me, and my husband is very good about saying, don't penalize. And I have one of my elders taught me this too. Don't, I don't want to say penalize, but penalize is the best word I put to it right now. But don't penalize a man for crying. Let him cry, because they've been through things in life. Let them be emotional. Don't be like, oh, you know what? You got to get yourself together. You gotta. But also, you got to teach them that they got to be strong, because life is lifing for everybody.
That's one thing I will say within the space of my podcast. And Minister Byron, you've been on when we had the conversation with the men. We've discussed that. And one of the points brought out throughout the series is men, outside of gender, they're human beings, they're people, they have feelings. And they feel things just like we do as women. But particularly for Black men, they've been ostracized if they do express the tears and the hurts and the frustrations and boys don't cry, suck it up, get, pick yourself, whatever the mantras are, the cliches are. But you're a human being with feelings, hearts, emotions, thoughts, just like the next person. But I think for Black men, when they do express those feelings, now their orientation's being attacked. And I think that's an injustice to who they are as people outside of their gender. I just think that's wrong.
I think there's been an attack on orientation both ways. I think that there's been an attack for women to be against women, and then there's been an attack against men to be men. As far as, and don't get me wrong, I have no particular like spectrum to far in or the other, but I do believe that we've not allowed people to express their traumas, express their hurts, express their secrets. Again, I don't mean in a sinful way. I mean just that they may have been traumatized, they may have been abused, they may have been mishandled, they may have been disappointed. I don't think we've allowed people to be in that space in healthy places. So that's why I think we do see the extremes, because we don't give people the middle of the road, the moderation to be able to go through healthy grieving processes or healthy recovery places, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's one of, amongst other things, that is one of the goals for this podcast, where innovators and creators connect. And here we do discuss topics and issues impacting the community and the culture. But in that space, we're discussing things that the church for many years did not provide space for us to do, especially as Black creatives or just people in the industry, talking about our health, talking about things we've experienced, but doing it in a way here that's safe and healthy without judgment, and also to open the door for conversations to continue after the podcast has gone off the air.
Right.
Maybe I do need to explore that part of my life more. Maybe I do need to sit down and talk with a therapist or someone about that. You know, like, you can be saved and have Jesus have a therapist too. You know, and processing things. I was speaking with someone this week, and we're gonna have one more question before we wrap. But I did want to touch on this. One of the things I started this past week was the Bougie Black Girl Files, and it's not what people think it is. It's a space because I do have a corner for men. I was like, my ladies need a space too, and one of those spaces was redefining what self-care and the soft life looks like. And I think a lot of times we've defined it as getting mani pedicures and tea and candles, and I explained, for me in this season, I'm learning that's lifestyle. Those are things I should be doing. That's a part of my daily life.
Right.
But for me, defining self-care as setting boundaries, knowing my capacity, listening to my body and say, no, you need to take a nap, or you're not drinking enough water, or did you get your 10,000 steps a day? Are you eating properly? And so taking those components, redefining them, and then saying, for me or for you, maybe we should revisit this definition and see what that means and how we can make it more applicable to our lives.
Yeah, I agree totally. I'm excited about that. That's a great space right there too.
Thank you. And then I have one more question. We're just having such a good conversation. We've got to do a part 2 because we cannot do this all within an hour. One of the things I want to ask you all, as far as how are you keeping the fire burning? Like, sustaining love over time, practical tips. What are practical tips for keeping the romance alive, honoring your covenant, and then also building legacy as a couple?
I would say for us, one of the things, like I said, we've been very heavy ministry affiliated people. So a lot of times we're running. We work jobs. We're parents. We're children. All that kind of things. One of the things my husband did, and like we were both elders at our former church. So he would open the church door. He would close the door. He would finance. We would, preach and pray and singing on the praise team and singing in the choir and just a bunch of different things. What we would do though, we didn't even get to sit by each other in church. And even now we don't really sit by each other because of just the things we do. But what we would do, we made time we just go to dinner together. Even it's just in between services. Or like sometimes a good friend of mine took a picture of me Sunday, which I didn't even know anything about it. I just put my hand on his back. Just stuff like touch him, just so he know, hey, I got you. And stuff like he'll come by, he'll send me, y'all. My baby.
He was reading the scripture and you was like, my man.
Listen, I'm up there, I'm revving him up.
Number one cheerleader.
Listen, but he sends me, y'all, I have so many text messages that while we're in church, he going like, he was out of town Tuesday. He said, who that girl up there in that green dress? I mean, just little cute little messages. One of our good friends in church as well was like, came to us after church, said, y'all was flirting in church. I saw y'all. So it's just little things, things. Just like if we were teenagers, like, hey, like, oh, who that girl? We'll say stuff like, he'll say, hey, I got a wife, but you mind if I talk to you? Stuff like that. So we just do little things.
Cute though. You have to.
I mean,
spicy.
Pick up a little shirt and just about, I was just thinking about you. Or I called him a couple weeks ago and said, I just want you to know how much I appreciate what you do for me in my life and how you make me better. I'm a strong woman, but like, what's the alloy that they add to iron that makes steel? It makes steel. There's something added to iron that makes it stronger. That's what he does for me.
Makes the man want to get up in the morning.
Listen.
I think one of the things you said, what makes a legacy and what keeps the fire going. I think one of the things you have to understand as a couple is understanding each other's love language.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
great point.
If you don't know each other's love language, you're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
You got to know what each other loves, and you give space for each other to express it and accept it. My wife knows if anything with some water in that boat, I'm going fishing.
Yeah.
She knows if she say anything about that, you just need to go fishing. That's a love language. That's her saying, hey, you're missing some things that I know you love, and I want to be there to reiterate and to push you to do those things. That's why even the certain stuff that I know, my Lord, touch my wife, but my wife loves to shop. My God, she loves to shop.
And he don't stop me, y'all.
Right.
He don't stop me. He'll talk about me, but he won't stop me.
But I won't stop her because that's part of her love language. That's her release. But you know what she does? She don't just shop for her. She shops for me. So her thing is, hey, I'm out here shopping, but I'm also thinking of you. So if she brings me a suit home, or she brings this, said, I saw this tie, that'll look good with this and that. That's part of her love language to me of saying, hey, I was thinking of you while I'm out here doing my certain thing. I'll call her. It's been our ritual since we've been married. Before I go to each one of my football games, on the way driving, no matter what the distance is, if we're in the playoffs and I got to ride all the way to Calhoun, Georgia, she's going to get that phone call on that ride to that game because I'm letting her know, yeah, I'm going to do my thing at coaching this football game, but I'm also thinking of you. So the longevity and the legacy is knowing each other's love language, knowing what each other's love. Just a simple call, just a simple touch. Those simple things is what makes the big things great. It makes you be able to. So when you do get the stuff, when you do get to go on that great vacation, when you do go, all of that does is make that vacation more intense because you've done the little things that led up to that. And when you stop doing the little things, that's when you get
The cracks.
That's
Yes.
cracks. Yeah.
The cracks.
yeah.
Oh, wow. We have to do a part 2. This is so good, and I still have more questions just as a single person because I just feel like I'm in a marriage class right now. This is so good, and it's a lot of wisdom and knowledge. First of all, thank you for taking the time to sit down and join me here. We definitely have to do part 2. So as we wrap up, do you have any last minute points, nuggets, gems, takeaways for the listeners and viewers? And then do you have any projects coming up? What's new and where people can reach you on social media?
So I would say for me, again, my husband is allowing me and has given me the space to. I have an insurance agency, but I also have, like I said, a couple of ministry opportunities that I've been working on. You can go to PamThomasDixon.com and you'll see my website. I also have some stuff. You can see a lot of stuff on Facebook and TikTok and Blue Sky and YouTube channel. A lot of different things that things I have in the works. Instagram. I'd love for you guys to support me again. Share my information because again, I know I'm not just in a silo by myself, and you may not need my services at this time, but someone may not need my services. So I would appreciate if you guys would just show your support by spreading the word, share, like, and comment. And you're going to see a lot more from me out here in these internet streets a little bit. But again, it's overdue, but it's fun, and I am definitely intimidated, but also excited for my husband as well. He's always he's that solid rock for me, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Me, I'm not a big so I don't have a brand on social media. But you can follow me on Byron Dixon on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I'm more of a watcher. I don't do a whole lot of posts. So when I do post, it's something very meaningful. My brand, like I said, I'm more of a hands-on type of person. I'm definitely a mentor.
Yeah.
I love mentoring young Black men. I hate to be biased and say it that way, but that's what I was. So that was one of my biggest things growing up. There was so many men that were around me, from Boy Scouts to Boys Club to sports to learning everything that I learned to be a man, and church, especially in church. Those were the things that I did. So I'm definitely a mentor on that. So you definitely, there's some young men that probably going to watch this that probably know who I am. So definitely share that. I have no problem talking to young men and talking them through what this thing is called life, and helping you to get to a place where, yeah, God might send you someone. He might send you your woman, and you need to know how to be able to take care of. So yeah, I appreciate that.
And Camille, we thank you so much for having us on. We don't take it for granted that this space is, you're going to be in grand spaces and before great people. So you've had some great and phenomenal people on. So all of us that have been on, we watch, we know that this is going to blow up, and we are thankful to be in this time that we're in. So thank you for allowing us for being on.
Thank you so much. I definitely want to bring you back, just because I just like to have sound voices here, and you both are very sound, full of wisdom, and I know your schedules are busy. So the fact that you took time out of your busy schedule, I'm humbled that you're both even here. So thank you again, and I cannot wait to have you both back, if you're willing to do so, because I really want to continue this conversation. And though the time goes by so fast, it's always so good. It's so good.
Right.
We didn't realize we gobbled up a lot of your time, but we got
no problem. I'm learning. I'm sitting here. I know it's for the people, but I'm catching the crumbs. Like, didn't our hearts burn? Absolutely. So thank you so much, and I hope everyone got something from this conversation. Be sure to follow
everybody that was on. We appreciate you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It's been really good. And for those, be sure to follow me across all streaming platforms such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. I have music, so if you heard the theme song, I actually wrote that song and used technology to create the actual beat and stuff, but I actually wrote those lyrics. So that is by me. I have other music out there streaming across platforms such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. And I also created my first 2 full visual videos, and they're on my YouTube channel as well. In addition, and it's just a branch, another way to grow the podcast and to reach in every area that I can.
That's excellent.
We will not have a live next week, but I may do a pop-up. So we'll see about that. But in order to know about that, I need you to subscribe and tune in. And with that being said, y'all, this is Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. We're now over 10,000 downloads globally. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And I hope you all really enjoy this idea. Y'all be blessed, be safe out there. There's a lot happening. I will say before I close out, it's your phone. It's your iPad. It's your computer. You monitor what you take in, how much. Yes, be informed, but remember to guard your gates.
Yeah.
And to stay focused.
That's great.
Y'all be safe.
You too. Thank you.
Good night. Y'all hold on. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you again to my guests, and also thank you for joining us on this episode of the Speaker Podcast. If you were late catching the conversation, no worries. Slide over to my YouTube channel and catch the replay. Be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Help keep the Speaker Podcast ad-free. Hit the link below and buy me a coffee. Your support keeps the podcast free of interruptions while bringing you more impactful conversations.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Speak Her Podcast. Be sure to follow Camille on Instagram at camille.essick, Facebook at the Speak Her Podcast, or www.camilleessick.com.